Visual.
Visual.
Anybody know what that means?
No. Yes.
What do you think it is? A word from a language called Moray. And Moray was a language that I learned growing up when I was a little kid, about your age. Okay? So I grew up in Africa. And I'm going to tell my story a little bit today, this morning with you. I'm really excited to be part of Liberty Public Schools. And I'm especially excited about today. This is probably going to be the best part of my week because I get to hang out with you guys. So I'm very excited. Focus on two key words. The first word is culture. And then the second word is community. You can tell me what the talk about culture in the United States, but then also we're going to compare it to culture in Africa, in the parts where I grew up. We're also going to talk about community in the United States, and we're going to compare it to community in Africa. Okay. I especially like all the potato chips over here. Those are one of my favorites. You know, and then also over here, there's some McDonald's French fries. They got a lot of stuff, right?
Pizza.
You've got a mom. You've had 5 kids. There's not a dad in this picture. But you can see how they live in this tent, and I'll show out a couple of things around that they have. They typically go to a market. Anybody ever been to a farmer's market? Nomadic. Nomadic means families or tribes or groups of people that travel from one place to the next, to the next, to the next. Banana, some bread perhaps that they picked up at a market. See this right here? A jug full of probably dirty water. And so they may have some tea as well that they might make in the mornings or in the evenings. They're cows. And so when I was growing up, this is how we made sure we had clean water in our house. We actually lived in the Sahara Desert, and we lived in a small village called Goram Goram. And when we moved into our house, our walls in our house were actually made of mud. And so I could literally, I was your age, I think I was in the 3rd grade, I would take a spoon and I could go up to my wall and actually dig a hole in my wall and actually see through to my brother's room. My mom didn't like that very much, but I did it anyway. It's made of goat skin, and so what they did is they killed the goat, and then they really, really tight up against this piece of wood. Can you guys see the inside of it? Okay. It's just hollow. And what they do over time, this part actually gets kind of loose. So to make it tighter, so that it has that really good sound, they'll actually heat it up. And when you heat it up, it's just going upon this whole herd of elephants. Another time when we were tracking elephants, my dad and my mom, my brother and I, we were in this Land Cruiser. I was actually riding on top of this Land Cruiser. And we came up on these elephants, and I jumped off, and I got off to the ground, and I started walking toward this big bull elephant that I saw. The big bull elephant was kind of like this. But when you're tracking elephants, you always want to make sure that you keep a tree between you and the elephant. Because if they start charging you, you want to be able to run faster than the elephant does to get back to your car. So I was getting closer and closer to this elephant, and guess what started happening? He started shaking his ears like this. So you can picture his ears going back and forth like this a little bit. And whenever they start doing that, they're a little annoyed. They're starting to get upset. And so he started to come around that tree. I took off running. I jumped on the hood of that car. I jumped onto the roof of the Land Cruiser, and my dad took off. So fortunately, awesome. So you guys have lots of stuff to share with your parents tonight. So, thank you guys. Love